Good morning. It is Thursday, December the 19th, 2024. I'm John Simney in the MNC News Center. Let's continue now with our top local stories. A Pennsylvania man's accused of rummaging through a crashed FedEx truck.
Robert Campolone III was inside a FedEx trailer that was lying in a ditch along the Indiana toll road. Police say a trooper made his way down the embankment while concealing himself behind the damaged metal of the trailer, though he was able to see the suspect cutting open boxes inside the trailer with a knife. They say he was ordered out of the trailer at gunpoint, and he allegedly told the officer he thought he would save money on his holiday shopping by going through the trailer. Over $1,400 in merchandise from the FedEx truck was recovered from Campolone's vehicle. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
News at 5 o'clock is powered by Burkholder Buildings and Supply. If it can be built in an office, a farm, or anywhere else, Burkholder is the highest quality for any need. Burkholder Buildings and Supply can help. Call today. 2 South Bend men have been sentenced for illegally possessing firearms.
31-year-old Denzel Givens and 34-year-old Christopher Rucker had both pleaded guilty to being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Givens received a sentence of 92 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Rucker will serve 84 months in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. Court documents say that in January of this year, Givens and Rucker were involved in a shooting at an apartment complex parking lot in South Bend.
A northwestern Indiana government worker is accused of harassment and receiving ghost payments.
A former Gary employee says Park Director Lavada Sparks Wade harassed her during her time working in the department. The complaint says her boss criticized her hair, her weight, and asked her inappropriate questions. The one-time worker also says Sparks Wade received payments for a summer youth coordinator position that she didn't even work. Sparks Wade refused to respond to the accusations. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
From the follow-up file this morning, taxpayers in Carroll County, Indiana, are now on the hook for the whopping cost of the Delphi murders trial.
In all, the trial cost around $2.5 million. Half of that was spent on Richard Allen's defense in the form of attorney's fees and the payment of expert witnesses. Prosecutors only spent about $447,000. Another big chunk of the bill, detailed in a report by the Carroll County auditor, shows the county spent over $800,000 on security for the trial. Richard Allen was found guilty of murdering Abby Williams and Libby German. Kirk Darling, Network Indiana.
First responders were called after a truck crashed into a pawn shop Tuesday morning in Roseland. Happened sometime after 11 in the morning at the Worldwide Jewelry and Pawn location in the 300 block of North Dixie Way, not far from the state line. No word of any injuries. Officials say it was a single vehicle crash. And from Michiana's election headquarters, Governor-elect Mike Braun has unveiled a streamlined 8-member cabinet.
Indiana's Governor-elect Mike Braun announced a streamlined cabinet with 8 members, a sharp reduction from the previous administration. Our news-gathering partners at Indiana Capitol Chronicle report only 2 members will lead state agencies alongside their cabinet roles. Braun emphasized efficiency, saying government should do more with less. Cabinet members include the state police superintendent, National Guard, Adjutant General, and Lieutenant Governor. Braun promised transparency, accountability, and a focus on results. He vows to collaborate closely with lawmakers and address key challenges like health care.
That's Joe Ullery reporting. 2nd District Congressman Rudy Yakum's legislation called the Working Dog Health and Welfare Act has unanimously passed the U.S. House of Representatives. He says there are more than 5,500 working dogs across the federal government, many with law enforcement and the military.
These hardworking and heroic canines deserve the best care. But a government accountability audit found that none of the 40 working dog programs were satisfactory across all 18 aspects of care.
The legislation would require federal agencies with working dog programs to implement recommendations and ensure care for the hardworking canines. The legislation is the House companion bill to Senator Mike Braun's Senate bill, which also passed by unanimous consent.
As you can tell, that this is a very special day because today we are blessing box 300 in the nation.
That's Mariah Betts with Safe Haven Baby Box, as yesterday marked the blessing of Mishawaka's second baby box at a brand new fire station number 2 on McKinley Highway. Mishawaka Mayor Dave Wood says the baby box makes the new fire station complete, and he also promised this.
We are committed to doing a baby box in every fire station that we have, and that will happen. I can promise you that.
By the way, this also marks the 144th Safe Haven Baby Box in the state of Indiana alone. Well, snow is likely to fall in Indiana both today and tomorrow, with heavier amounts expected here in the northern part of the state. And that means it could impact tomorrow night's college football playoff game between Indiana and Notre Dame.
In northern Indiana, that's where the chances would be a little bit higher of having over an inch of snow.
That's National Weather Service meteorologist Randy Bowers. As we look ahead to Christmas, Bowers says you can expect a warming trend with rain possible on Christmas Day. Well, in his farewell speech on the House floor this week, Indiana 3rd District House Representative and soon-to-be Senator Jim Banks says he couldn't have done it all alone.
I want to thank my supporters, my friends, my family, who have allowed me the great honor of serving in Congress. I will always be grateful to them.
Banks served 4 terms in the House, where he sat on the House Committee on Armed Services, House Committee on Education and the Workforce, House Select Committee on Strategic Competition between the U.S. and the Chinese Communist Party, and the House Committee on Veterans Affairs.
I'm proud of where I come from, and it's been an honor to represent the best place in the world and the best people in the world in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Of course, in the Senate, he'll be replacing the seat that was left vacant by Senator Mike Braun, who was elected to be Indiana's governor. Well, the Northern Indiana Regional Development Authority has awarded $42.5 million in Ready 2.0 grants to 13 projects in St. Joseph, Elkhart, and Marshall counties. The projects receiving Ready funding include the Michigan and Monroe Arts District in South Bend, the Cherry Creek mixed-use housing development in Goshen, the 100 Center Historic Revitalization Project in Mishawaka, and for further development of the Elkhart River District. You can see the full list of projects with this story at 953mnc.com. New this morning, Michigan's cage-free egg sales law goes into effect next year.
Retailers in the state will only be allowed to sell cage-free eggs under the new law, which goes into effect on December 31st. The law was sponsored by a Republican state senator and signed into law by Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist 5 years ago. Some critics say it could lead to price increases, but Gilchrist said at the time of the signing that the law will maintain that Michigan's standards are amongst the strongest in the nation when it comes to protecting animal welfare. The law won't apply to shell eggs from a farm that has less than 3,000 egg-laying hens. Derek Decker, MNC News.
Close to 12 states, including Indiana, have laws on the books that keep students from being able to use cell phones in class. Some parents are in agreement with the rules, but others say their kids need to be connected.
The general idea that having a phone in a classroom that a student might be using, where they're lost in sort of the fog of the internet, isn't conducive to good learning. At the same time, while many parents believe that, there's also this struggle with being able to cut that tie. You know, to actually say, I want my student to do better in school, to learn more, but I also need them to be able to reach me if they have an emergency. And that's the struggle. Victor Garcia, MNC News.
The winter forecast calls for the possibility of more snow throughout the season, but you can prepare now by getting winter weather text alerts. Text the word weather to 574-2595, 95.3.
Cloudy skies today. Afternoon highs right about 32 degrees, maybe a few mid-30s in a couple of spots. A few flurries are possible, but the best chance of snow is going to be overnight tonight and first thing Friday morning. We could see about an inch of snow tonight and maybe another half inch to an inch on Friday morning. Friday's high still at 32. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Breaking news can happen at any time, day or night. Get first word by signing up for breaking news text alerts from MNC. To get them, text the word news to 574-2595, 95.3.
Podcasts by Federated Media.